When it comes to creepy creatures that defy logical explanation, we perhaps come to one of the strangest, the Enfield Horror. This ghoulish fiend stalked the community of Enfield, Illinois in the spring of 1973.
The Enfield Horror was a truly unique creature, very different from most of the cryptids of this world. This monster only stood about 4 feet tall and was covered in gray skin and had 3 legs. The creature was also unusual in that it had glowing pink eyes as big as flashlights and could leap 20 to 40 feet with its powerful 3 legs. Although this creature sounds like it emerged from the imagination of a child, it was witnessed by at least 9 people and heard by many more.
April 25th, 1973, was an active night. Greg Garrett, a young boy playing in his backyard after dark, ran home screaming and told his parents a strange tale. He claimed that a 3-legged grayish, slimy-skinned monster with short claws and pink eyes stomped on his feet, destroying his tennis shoes. His torn and shredded tennis shoes were his only evidence of the astonishing and bizarre attack. Of course, his parents didn't believe the tale. That is, until the neighbor's experience.
30 minutes later, 2 other children had a terrifying encounter with this beast. Henry McDaniel Jr. and Lil McDaniel were home alone at about 9:30 at night while their parents were out, when they saw something strange trying to break into their home. This strange thing tried to get into the house through a door and then through a window-mounted air conditioner. The children were understandably frightened and were huddled together when their parents arrived home.
Henry Sr. was skeptical of the encounter. That is, until the family heard scratching at the door. Henry quickly threw open the door, expecting to see a stray animal of some sort, but instead saw something so strange it left him speechless and terrified. He saw the pink-eyed monster that had scared his children. He quickly slammed the door and ran to fetch a flashlight and a .22 pistol.
Armed and wanting to protect his family, Henry Sr. kicked open the door and fired at the monster. But to his surprise, the bullet seemed to do no damage. The monster hissed like an angry wildcat, turned, and with its powerful legs, leaped 75 feet with only 3 jumps. How was that possible? The only thing left behind after the encounter was the family's fear and the memory of the shrieking wildcat sound.
The McDaniels quickly called the police, and when the police arrived, Henry Sr. described the creature to them. He told them,
"It had 3 legs on it, a short body, 2 little short arms coming out of its breast area, and 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights. It stood 4.5 feet tall and was grayish colored. It was trying to get into the house."
The Illinois State Police, who responded to the call, were skeptical of Daniel's account, but went ahead and investigated, given that shots were fired. Initially, they felt that it was just a stray animal. Besides, how could they possibly believe such a strange tale? As they investigated, the officers, however, couldn't make sense of what they found. There were scratches on the siding, just as the McDaniels had reported, and strange tracks that looked like a dog's track, except that each foot had 6 toe pads. The footprints also suggested a 3-footed animal, with one foot being slightly smaller than the others.
Everything was quiet for the next 11 days, until Henry McDaniel Sr. was awoken from a deep sleep one night by strange howling noises. He thought the sounds were coming from some of the neighborhood dogs, so he got out of bed to investigate, grabbing his gun on the way. As he stood in the doorway, looking off into the distance toward the L&N Railroad trestles, where the thing had escaped to earlier, he saw it, again, and observed the monster slowly make its way down the railroad tracks. He stated,
"I saw something moving out on the railroad track, and there it stood. I didn't shoot at it or anything. It started on down the railroad track. It wasn't in a hurry or anything."
Given the strangeness of the case, the press quickly picked up on it, and the story and the drama quickly escalated. As soon as the news of the events reached the public, there was no holding back the droves of monster hunters who invaded the city.
White County Sheriff Roy Poshert Jr. was so upset by the invasion of monster hunters in his town that he threatened to arrest Henry McDaniel Sr. if he didn't stop telling people his terrifying tale. The locals were scared, and people were forming hunting parties to trap and kill the monster. The town was in an uproar, and Sheriff Poshard was worried that someone was going to get hurt.
The monster hunters took to patrolling the L&L railways, searching the bushes and the surrounding areas. 5 of these novice monster hunters encountered the beast while it was hiding in the brush and shot it. Their bullets seemed to have no effect as the monster turned and with a giant leap fled away from its attackers. This didn't stop the sheriff from arresting them for threat to public safety and hunting violations.
Rick Rainbow, the news director of radio station WWKI, was the next to see the beast. He and 3 other individuals reported that they saw a gray, stooping, 5-foot-tall creature sneaking outside an abandoned house close to the Garrett's and McDaniel's homes. He reported that he and his crew were able to get a tape recording of the monster's scream.
Rainbow was not the only notable person to enter the pursuit of the monster. Cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman quickly went to work investigating the eyewitness accounts and recording. He also went to the locations of the witness sightings. While inspecting the McDaniel's damaged sighting, he heard a strange screeching banshee-like noise. He was bewildered. He eventually wrote an article over a year later with Jerome Clark for Fate magazine. This article was entitled Swamp Slobs Invade Illinois.
Then, as quickly as the encounter started, they abruptly ended. And as the reports died down, the crowds dispersed, leaving some to declare the events in Enfield a hoax. But declaring it all a hoax doesn't even begin to do justice to all the eyewitnesses' accounts. Whether a hoax, extraterrestrial, cryptid, or demon, the Enfield horror remains a mystery and an enigma.